What is up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out another video, guys. I really appreciate that. Today's video is going to be on selling, and trust me, selling is probably more important than buying. I recently did an interview with Neil A. Cohen, who is a best-selling novelist and writer. The article is in the description. You really should check it out. He put together a really awesome article about silver stacking, new stackers, and the community itself. It's a really nicely put together article, and that will be in the description if you want to check out my answers. We got Stackin Stormtrooper in there as well, so make sure you check out that article. It's really, really good. And it may be an ongoing thing that he's going to do, which is great for the community. So one of the questions, actually the first question is, how does a new stacker establish themselves in order to sell or trade or buy precious metals? Thousands of fiat currency being traded into metal. And, you know, I had a short answer that was a little bit long-winded, but they don't. That is the honest truth. It is extremely hard for new stackers to sell any of their precious metals. It is very hard. It's even hard for people that are known in the community to get their foot in the door and start selling. It's very hard to sell. This community is full of mistrust. We have people that, think the government's watching them. We have a lot of paranoia in this community. We have a lot of people that are intent on keeping their family safe, their identity safe, and make sure they're not getting scammed. There's a lot that goes into buying precious metals privately, and there's a lot of trust involved. And like I said, this community just does not have it. So you got to earn that trust from buyers, from sellers, by basically interacting. If you want to become a seller, you have to start buying. And not just from one person, you got to rotate your buying. And that in itself is almost like an investment. You're buying from these private sellers and kind of establishing yourself a little bit. That way, the way the secondary market works, if you've never been in the secondary market or kind of wheel and dealed in the secondary market, bought or sold or anything like that, it's kind of hard for you to be considered an expert stacker, because that is an essential part of stacking, is being able to buy, sell, trade, network. It's very important. And that little piece is something that a lot of us don't talk about, but it is really important, guys. I'm telling you. And I already know what a lot of you guys are thinking. I'm never going to sell. I'm going to have my silver forever. If silver goes to $1,000 an ounce, I still won't sell. But that is a very naive way to think. You want to know both sides of the stacking world. You want to know the buying side, which you guys are, well aware of. But those of you that have never sold, you don't know the selling side. And that's a very important side. You want to know what people are buying, right? And that's how you learn. Not only that, you're locking yourself up. You're locking up potential to actually accelerate your stack, which is something I've mentioned before in other videos. For an example, I bought this for about $220. These are going for close to $500 now. And it might take me a while to find a buyer at $500, but even if I let it go for $400, I just made almost $200. And what would I do with that money? I would buy more silver. So that's one side. You are missing an opportunity to potentially fund your stack and stack faster. And then there's people that are on a budget. So you're saying, I'll never sell it, right? But what if you start to lose interest in this and you want a new 10-ounce bar? Or let's say that you bought this and it turns out it's a bust. All of a sudden you see the prices going down and you're losing money actually. So you want to get rid of it and buy something else. There's people on a budget that can't just go and be like, you know what? I'll hold this and I'm going to go buy another 10-ounce coin or another 10-ounce bar. There's people that cannot do that. So what options do you have? You sell this 10-ounce bar and you go buy the new 10-ounce bar, the one you want, the one that you think you're going to like, the one that you think is going to appreciate. So don't limit yourself saying, I'm never going to sell. You should at least be kind of networking and seeing what people are buying and getting into that rhythm, because you never know what could happen financially too. Who knows? You might need to dip into your stack. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like a lot of us in this community are almost embarrassed to sell because it's almost like you're giving up. It's almost like you're admitting that you have no faith in silver, that you're admitting that you have failed as a stacker. There's nothing wrong with selling portions of your stack, especially if you start getting in a financial pinch. Absolutely not. It's going to help you in the long run. If you put yourself even in a worse position by refusing to let go of your silver, it almost contradicts everything that you're doing. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. So guys, the way to do it, become a buyer, start networking, make sure you're on social networks, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You could start using YouTube. I see a lot of people coming up with new ways to sell on YouTube, which is awesome. And it's good for the community. It gives you more of a sense of community too. But these are people that are gonna buy from you, are gonna trade with you, that are like-minded people, and you really should learn the selling side of stacking. It is very important because, like I said, what's the purpose of buying this numismatic piece of silver if I'm never gonna get the money back, ever? Because if I go to an LCS, they're not gonna give me what it's going for on the secondary market. $500? No way. No way. The only way I would get $500 for this is by selling private. So if you have no intention of ever selling, then do not buy numismatics at all, because you are losing money already. You're losing money. That's the easiest way to put it, because you'll never get that money back unless you are able to sell private. So I'm going to show you a couple little tips here. I don't recommend eBay at all. None. I did the math. We're at $19.50 some odd cents, right? eBay takes 13% between eBay and PayPal. So if you take that 13%, it brings down your silver, if you bought today at $19.51, to $17. So imagine if you bought back in the day at 17, you're basically breaking even by selling on eBay. So that's out of the question. And then you got to ship it, so it's not worth it. But if you want to, this is a little trick here. I've showed this in my other video, but my channel was way less in size. It's not even half the size it is now. So I want to show this little trick again, which I'm sure you guys have seen. But this is for older coins. If you want to show that it has some form of luster, this is the way you do it. See, if I show you like this and I take a picture, it is really hard for you to tell what kind of luster is on this coin, right? As of right now, you guys can see it because of the fan, but if that fan wasn't going like that, and I take a picture, you have no idea what the luster is on that. So how do you show it? Just like that. You want to get the color nice and bright, going across the middle of the coin so they could compare where it's picking up that color. So you could, kind of take the picture like right there, right in the middle. So it shows that it is, it has a lot of luster. That's how you show it in a picture. And that's important if you really want to sell it. Remember, selling is all competition, which is another thing that is different from buying. When you're buying, you're in competition to hurry up on certain things, like semi-numismatics that might run out, but you're not in real competition with anybody. Selling, you're in competition with everybody. You're in competition with price, quality, trustworthiness. If, for example, I'm selling next to APMEX, I'm selling these, right? And our prices are compatible. They're about the same, competitive. People are gonna buy from APMEX. let's be honest. APMEX is the big dealer. If I'm selling for $1 less, people will pay the extra $1 to buy from APMEX rather than me. So you're in constant competition, and that's another reason why the earlier you start establishing yourself as a seller, the better. Trust me. And then another thing you want to consider, and I say this all the time, when you guys are buying, really be conscious on what you're buying, because there will be a day where you have to sell. There will be. If not, then, you know, if you're passing them down to your kids, numismatics or whatever, that's different. But, you know, if you do want to do a flip or something like that, you know how hard it is to be able to sell all this? These are mixed series, they're mixed coins. It's going to take a long time. And if you start breaking up series, you know, like I sell one Marvel, I got all the Marvel in here, but if I break them up, it's going to take a long time. So keep that in mind when you're doing series, that if you just buy one of all these series, it's going to be a pain to sell it, and for not that much money either. You know, you're going to be making maybe a couple bucks off each coin, unless they've appreciated like this one, you know. But this is a very rare story. We don't see that happen very often, but these coins have appreciated big time this year. So keep that in mind when you're buying semi-numismatics. Maybe keep it at a limit unless you really like them. Then that's different. You know, you're doing it for the collection. That's completely different. Or if you want to pass it down to your kids, that's also different. But it's almost better to, once you start a series, to kind of continue that series, because then you could sell it as a series, and that makes a lot more sense. Now you're talking one package for the entire series rather than, you know, 5, 6 different packages for a single coin. So keep that in mind. But anyways, guys, that is it. This was a kind of podcast style, I guess, a little bit on selling. But yeah, it is really important, guys. And to be honest, like I said, you cannot consider yourself an expert stacker if you don't know anything about selling. That's where you become street smart as far as silver stacking. There's such thing. And not only that, but you network, it only helps you. Because if you're networking, you can also see good deals from other people, and people hook you up. I've gotten good deals because they know who I am. I've dealt with them before. It's just a different feel to the community, and you never want to say, I'm never going to sell. That is a very dangerous way of thinking, especially for you younger guys. It's very dangerous to think that way because a lot could change. You might decide you don't want to do silver anymore at all for the younger guys. So make sure, you know, you do your research on selling. You start to establish yourself, get involved with the community, and it is tough, guys. And if you want to really accelerate your stacking, get in there as a seller, and you know, network. Trust me. All right, guys. So if I get any more questions on this, I've been getting a lot of questions on selling, how to get started, a lot. So that's why I ended up making this video over again. On top of that article from Neil A. Cohen, which is down in the description. Make sure you check it out. So, all right, guys. Thank you for checking out. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys later.